Hi, you guys. Thank you for tuning in again to Raw Autism Perspective podcast. I am Samantha, and today I have Britney here, who is my vice president of Perfectly Puzzled Foundation. And we're just going to tune in to get some information on how she has contributed into our foundation and what she also does behind the scenes. Hi, Britney.
Hello. How are you all doing? I am Britney. As Samantha said, I am the vice president of Perfectly Puzzled, and I helped a lot with the back end of getting us started. The reason I even wanted to join Perfectly Puzzled was because that I saw Samantha had a dream, and it was really inspiring to me, and I knew that I had some of the tools to get her started. Since then, we've built it into a really incredible team. Everybody has their own expertise, their own ways of pulling weight. But it really started with Sam and I having a lot of meetings. We're like, okay, what do you want to do? Let's get it done. And just kind of like figuring it out as we went. Particularly, I helped with a lot of the groundwork, building out our systems and trying to get us seen, trying to lead Sam in a way to that she can even tap into her own expertise and pull her out of her shell a bit as well. We were actually just making a joke right before we started this podcast that her sister, who did not want to be on camera today, how I had those same conversations with Samantha about 2 years ago. Just like, hey, got to get on camera. You got to put yourself out there. And even though it's uncomfortable, we have to grow. So that's kind of like how I started. But the reason I'm doing this is because I truly believe that every child deserves to be heard and supported and loved for who they are. So the work that we're doing is really going into focusing on not focusing on awareness, but focusing on action. It's one thing to be aware of autism and to say, oh, I know these things and this is how you do them. But then it's another thing to actually take action on those things. And that's truly what our mission is. We want to take action on how we can actually support these children, bring awareness, and then do something to truly help them. So that's where I really feel our heart is.
We've been working on this mission for the past 3 years now, as just like starting the brand. But as far as the foundation, we started that in 2023 because we're just like, we're going to have to try to do, some work before we could just start really putting out just the items for people, because they're not understanding what our goal is at that point. Just selling merchandise. They're just kind of like, oh, it's another autism group that wants to help out, says that they want to be there for their communities, when it's more than that. It's bigger than that. So I felt like we needed the foundation, and I feel like we needed our charter bus, which we're going to talk about. And even though it's a real rocky road right now, because we've had a lot of people who would make empty promises, and I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to put anybody on blast, but they know who they are if they're watching this. But it's more so, I don't believe people believe in what we believe in. And my goal, as well as everybody else's goal, is to help you believe in what we're trying to do. I can't make you believe because it's up to you. So at the end of the day, we're trying to create a sensory mobile gym bus that will basically cater to the families who are homeless, who basically are living in shelters, who don't have basically the tools that they need if they were just actually going to ABA therapy, speech, OT, things of that sort. Why can't we just bring the mobile sensory gym to you so that way they're not missing out on anything, learning how to brush their teeth, making a bed, things like that. So I feel like that would be really helpful in our community. What do you guys think?
I think it would be very helpful.
Yes.
Especially in like you say, homeless, low income communities, a lot of urban communities that can't afford to go somewhere to see a mobile sensory gym or even have one pull up. So I think it's great of what we're doing, and salute to y'all starting this up.
We started it.
Everybody has really pulled their weight in more ways than one. Like I've told Samantha before, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm probably going to give the bad advice sometimes. And it really takes a community of different people and different perspectives and different thought processes that can really bring what we have brought so far. And we have made mistakes along the way. We're brand new to this, you know, we're brand new. We're going to mess up. But I think what matters is that every single one of us still get up and say, all right, that didn't work. What's next? That didn't work. What's next? And I think it's important though too for the low income families because they don't have that education. They don't know what they don't know. You know, you have a child with autism or ADHD. Growing up, I didn't have a 504 plan. I didn't have any of that help, you know? And so I feel like that's what, I feel like that's what we're here trying to do. We're trying to change that perspective. We're trying to show you that you can have help, you can have assistance, and it's not going to cost you $36,000 with ABA.
No.
It's going to, you know, they don't have the insurance to help them with that. But that's what we're here for, and that's what we're trying to focus that.
Yeah. And a lot of people get kind of discouraged on what we're doing because what they're looking for right now is the bus. But in order to have the bus, we need help. We've had a lot of involvement when it comes to the community, backpack drives, food drives. We've donated money out of our own pocket that we didn't even have. And that's just the raw perspective right there, because a lot of people may think like, oh, they, you know, are sitting on money and they have this and have that. We work. She has her own business. Britney works. I work. Ed works. Renee works. Like, we all work. So it's not like we're already sitting on this money. This is something where we're trying to figure out how are we going to replenish what we already spent. But then at the same time, we don't like to look at it like that because the community needs our help. And if we can do it, we're going to do it. So these food drives that we donated to, it was good, but then it turned bad. And, you know, everybody has their ending, you know, where they're just like, you know, this is not going to work anymore due to whatever type of issues that there were on the side. But at the end of the day, to see the community come out, to have Ed speak to each family member, get some information from them on what they would like to see, you know, on the sensory bus, you know, what are they struggling with right now? You know, that was very enlightening to see that because he's very dedicated. He loves to work in his community. He loves to make sure that everybody has what they need. And unfortunately, we had to separate from that, but it's okay because we made a stamp there. And Ed, do you want to put some insight on that?
I just don't like gaslighting. Like, we raw. We gonna tell you what it is. We not gonna sell you no dream. We not gonna tell you no lies. And we shouldn't get that given to us. Mm-hmm. So, right. in my experience of doing the food drives, doing backpack drives, for all of those people who are partners and have other foundations, and y'all telling people, oh, we can help y'all. If y'all not really gonna help them, don't tell them that. Mm-hmm. If y'all giving people y'all business cards, telling, oh, contact me, email me, but then y'all not responding, stop giving people y'all business cards. Mm-hmm. Stop telling people to contact you when you know you're not finna respond. Mm-hmm. And that's my take on that, because y'all selling people dreams and y'all not even buying them. So that's my take.
That was
on
the best way to put that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
false
so serious.
Promises.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
and people don't see what happens in the background as far as like when we're talking amongst ourselves and we're just going over what could we have done better. And honestly, I feel like we did what we were supposed to do.
We was at top tier. We was professional.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't shade nobody. Even when we got shaded, we still didn't shade nobody.
No.
Even when we was taken out of character, still didn't shade nobody. Because we different. Mm-hmm. We built different. Our foundation is built different.
Right. And I feel like I don't need to put you down to make me feel some type of way, to make me feel better. And out of everybody that we've worked with, including the backpack drives, was amazing in Inglewood. And then it was amazing also to donate to my sister's foundation, where she's the executive director, Miss Chasney Walker. She was very, very, very nice and generous to have us there. She knew what our goal was, of course, because I talked to her on the side. I told her what I wanted to do. And of course, you know, she had her little doubts or whatever, but she seen her little baby sister was climbing up the ladder. But you know, she helped us a lot. And it helped us get noticed in a way where it's not just they just want to be here just to say they were here. No, we want to be here because we love everybody. We may not know everybody's names. We may not see them every day, but that doesn't mean that we don't care. So here, I want to thank you for allowing us to be there, Miss Walker.
What you mean don't get you emotional?
You didn't have to, and you really stuck out your neck for us. And me as your baby sister, I had to make sure that I did not, what's that word I'm looking for? I didn't basically fall short on what I said I wanted to do. I didn't sit here and say like, oh, I wanted to do a backpack drive. Can you allow me? And then I never show up, or it's not what you expected, and things of that sort. Because I know you have a business to run. I know that there's people looking at you. For you to see us and allow us into your area and your foundation, we really appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you.
And her foundation is I Have a Dream Foundation. You can go ahead and follow that on Instagram and learn more about them. But yes, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Oh my gosh.
Are y'all gonna cry?
I was gonna cry. No. But seriously, all jokes aside, like for me to see where you've come, to see that goal, that dream that you started, and it all because of my niece, it just speaks volumes. Especially coming from a nonprofit organization that supports under-resourced communities, like I see it firsthand. Like we're advocates in the classrooms, in the schools, for our parents to support them in the needs, you know, the 503Bs and things of that nature, other IEPs. So for me to see what you're doing for Alina so that she has a legacy, that speaks volumes. And so for me, when we were able to collaborate, I was very upfront. You know, I'm only in my second year as executive director, so I'm still learning as I go. But to see that we were able to partner to make our parents proud, you know, who are in heaven watching, you know, looking down on us right now, I think they're very proud of us. Our elders are proud of us. They see how hard and committed we are to our communities where we come from. You know, we're natives of South Central Los Angeles. We want to support our communities, and we're doing that. You know, we're not just touching lives, we're impacting lives. Right. We're supporting families now that with their immediate needs, but also what they want to do, you know, as they grow in their dreams. Right. And so for us to be able to partner and, you know, get your name out there so people can see, because we also have students who are autistic. So that was another reason, in addition to my niece, like, how can I support my students who are autistic? And the fact that, you know, to get your name out there, the fact that you even support me in my role, you know, spoke volumes that my family was able to be there, you know, for my gala. The time that we were able to support those families who lost their homes in the fires. In Pasadena, we were able to support the school that we're sponsoring this fall, Madison Elementary School in Pasadena, you know, not just the families, but also the teachers who are still showing up for work, you know, even though that they lost everything or they're being displaced. And so the fact that we were able to give them food, you know, supplies for home, even for their pets. We can't forget about the pets out there, you know? So I'm just grateful that we were able to serve our community, because I just feel as though we saw what our elders did. We saw how hard they worked. We saw how hard our parents worked, and we want to make them proud. And like I said, I know that we're doing that, and we're making impactful we are touching those lives. We're making impacts, and you just don't know how far that's going to go. So I'm here to support you however I can, because I see your goal and your dream, and I just want to be as supportive I can for you.
I appreciate that. And I also got to give a shout out, because I got my other sister here, our older sister, Renee. She's been helping us on the backpack drives. She looking at me like, girl. But she is also our treasurer, and she has, every time that we've had an episode, she's been here. Anytime that we had food drives, you know, she gives, you know, us basically like the points that we need to basically learn how to just navigate through this, because it has been difficult. There's times where I may get out of line and Renee puts me in line. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have to yell at me. It's a look that she give me. She cut her eye and I'll be like, all right, because I could really go there. I could really show y'all who I was in the past, but I don't want to be that person. I'm trying to learn how to navigate through this business because it's hard, and there's days where I cry, and there's a whole bunch of times where she has been there uplifting me, uplifting our chat group, all that. And I just thank you for really being there for us, because you didn't have to. You could have easily said, girl, I ain't doing none of this. You got me jacked up. But she really has been there. And I just thank you guys so much. And I also thank Ed and Britney for being here, because
it's teamwork.
Yeah,
teamwork.
You guys didn't have to. We've had people who wanted to be a part of this, but I feel like other people wanted to be a part of this for a quick buck, when that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
And eventually, when things do blow up in a positive way, everybody will get what's coming to them. Mm-hmm. But right now, my focus is not about money going in our pockets, it's money going into the sensory bus. Mm-hmm. So if you guys have anybody who works in the charter bus field, Greyhounds, Felix or Flex, I feel like is a part of the charter bus. We need a charter bus so that way we could break it down, make it into a mobile sensory gym bus that we can bring at events, bring to certain meetings as well for people who we want to partner with, so that way we could show them. Because one thing about it, we did all this not knowing that people in the background with all the big bucks want us to have something that we don't even have in our bank account right now. So we're looking for grant writers. We're looking for people that can really just be an addition into helping us get this mobile sensory gym bus going, because I'm tired of crying, but every time I cry, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer and closer. So I feel like we on the right track. Yeah. So if you guys want to volunteer for any events that we're going to be posting up on our website, you guys are more than welcome. Especially if you have autism or ADHD, you are more than welcome to come out. We do not discriminate. If you want us to come to certain events, please let us know, and you can hit us up at info@perfectlypuzzled.org. And on that note, my name is Samantha.
I'm Britney.
I'm Renee.
I'm Chasnay.
And y'all know me as Ed.
And this is Raw Autism Perspective Podcast. See you next time.